Kamoze, born Cecil Campbell on October 9, 1957, is a Jamaican reggae artist who began his career in the early 1980s and returned to prominence in 1994 with the signature song Here Comes the Hotstepper. The single topped the US Billboard Hot 100 as well as record charts in Denmark and New Zealand, reaching number 4 on the UK singles chart. Career: he made his first single, World Affairs, in 1981. Kamoze then released a 12-inch single Trouble You Would Trouble Me/General in 1983. His self-titled debut album was released in 1984 as a 6-track mini-LP on Island Records. The album was recorded with and produced by Sly and Robbie, with whom he toured internationally along with Yellowman and Half Pint. Kamoze was known for his commanding presence and sinuous vocal style. By 1988, however, he had effectively disappeared from the music scene. Kamoze founded his own label, releasing a compilation album Selector Showcase which featured a popular Kamoze single titled Stress. 4 years later he released his next album, 16 Vibes of Kamoze, which sold well. In 1994, Kamoze released the song which would become his signature, Here Comes the Hotstepper. Kamoze would become known as the Hotstepper, from the patois for a man on the run from the law. The song was originally recorded with Philip Fatis Burrell and later remixed by Salam Remy, and initially featured on a reggae music compilation Stir It Up, released on the Epic label. Here Comes the Hotstepper was not an entirely new composition, having roots in the song Land of 1000 Dances, which was a number 1 R&B hit for Wilson Pickett in 1966 and was first recorded by Chris Kenner in 1962 and reprised in 1963 by Fats Domino. The remixed version of the track also incorporates the bass line from Tiana Gardner's 1981 single Heartbeat. The song appeared on the soundtrack to the fashion industry satire feature film Prati Porter. Here Comes the Hotstepper remains Kamoze's only US number 1 hit. The success of the single sparked an intense bidding war with several major labels hoping to sign him. Kamoze signed a 7-album deal with Elektra Records in November 1994. Kamoze's career after this high watermark featured the compilation album Here Comes the Hotstepper which was released in 1995 by Columbia Records, around the same time as his first album for Elektra, Lyrical Gangster. Both the rhythm and the hook of Damian Marley's 2005 hit Welcome to Jamrock were sampled from Kamoze's 1984 track World A Music. The opening line Out in the streets, they call it Nga has been sampled in countless drum and bass and dubstep tracks. His dub version of Here Comes the Hotstepper, otherwise known as I'm Steppin' It Hotter This Year, released in 1993, remains a dancehall anthem. In 2005, Kamoze recorded and released a double album, Debut, on which he re-recorded a number of tracks from earlier in his career. Debut was released on his own 9 Sound Clique label. The artist's most recent album release is 2009's 5150 Rule. The album includes tracks such as Rapunzel and Hungry Days. The album also had some guest features from Sizzler and Busy Signal. This was his second album released on the 9 Sound Clique label. Kamoze has also written a book on the history of Port Royal, and a play, Runnings. His name means Mountain of the True God. Discography == Studio albums, Kamoze, Island, Statement, Mango, Pirate, Mango, Shocking Out, RAS, Lyrical Gangster, East West America Elektra, Debut, 9 Sound Clique, 5150 Rule, 9 Sound Clique. Compilation albums, 16 Vibes of Kamoze, Sonic Sounds, Here Comes the Hotstepper, Columbia SMDE. == See also, Music of Jamaica, List of Jamaicans, List of reggae musicians, List of roots reggae artists, List of artists who reached number 1 in the United States, List of 1990s one-hit wonders in the United States. References. External links. Official website, Naka Nake's channel on YouTube.